Okay, this is the fourth installment of your lines notes. This is all about understanding the equation and how we work with the equation and of lines, so especially slope-intercept form. So you remember slope-intercept form is equal to what? Y is equal to mx plus b. Okay, and if I asked you to write an equation in slope-intercept form, you might say something like this. Y is equal to 1/2 x plus 3, or y is equal to 5x minus 2, or y is equal to 2x. So that in each of these cases, you can see that m is defined as it's the number that comes before the letter x. That is m, that is the slope. And b is your y-intercept, and that is the number that comes after. Okay, and here there isn't one, so that means it's actually 0. It exists, but it's 0. So think of this formula as directions to describe a shape. It's a line. Okay, it is basically the directions to describe the shape of a line. So when you are looking at this, if I gave you something like y is equal to negative 2/3 x minus 2, you should be able to look at that and go, oh, I can graph that easy. Okay, I know this is the y-intercept, I know this is the slope, and then you can continue on your way. But what's cool about it is that this is literally a picture of a line, okay? And this is the code to graphing this code. This is, again, the y-intercept, and then once you have a point, you can use the slope to get to another point. So think of the slope as the directions to get from point to point. And pay attention to that. This is not a point on any x-axis. It's not the point. This is the slope. This is the directions. This is like saying go 2 blocks down and 3 blocks to the right. It is literally telling you how to climb and how to walk to get from point to point. This, however, is a point. This is the y-intercept. That means that is where it crosses the y-axis. So this is a point. Okay, so this is where you start. This is called the starting point. This is always going to be where you start. Okay, so first let's talk about slope. I know I did a whole thing. You guys hopefully right away would be able to look at this line and go, that's a positive slope. And boy, does that little man have to climb hard. Okay, so the idea is that what they're showing you is the triangle that can be created to walk from point to point. So instead of going as the bird flies here on diagonal, you're going to walk from point to point. Okay, and so here it's asking you to look at these 2 points. They're kind of close together. Look, the run is 1. See, went over 1. And the rise is 4, it looks like. And then what's the slope? It's the rise over the run. So it is 4 over 1, or just 4. Okay. By the way, Alex on tests count this as wrong. If you don't simplify 4 over 1 and you put it as 4 over 1, it counts it as wrong. I usually go back and fix that because I will give you credit, but please try to remember that if 4 is divided by 1, it's equal to 4. Then look at these 2 points. They're further away. Look, to get from E to F, we walked 2. To get from F to D, we walked 8. We climbed 8. Okay. So we went +2 + 8. And here we went +1 + 4. But look, rise over run is 8 divided by 2. It's still 4. The slope didn't change just because we picked 2 points further away. So what that proves to you is that all you need are 2 points and you can find the slope. I could literally make them microscopic and I could zoom in so close and it would still be 4. Okay. Are these 2 slopes computed above equal? Why or why not? Yes, they are, because the 2 triangles are similar. That works. Yes, they are, because the 2 triangles are congruent. No, they're not. No, yes. Yes, boom. That's good enough. Are the triangles similar? We haven't even talked about triangles being similar, but similar triangles means that you have, that's not a 5, that's a square, that all angles are equal. And you know that they are, I'll just tell you that they are, okay? We don't need to go into that right now. Okay, next. Yeah, I didn't do a second one of those because I figured you've got that. You have to just count the pieces. Okay, now we're going to start with all of the equation work, okay? I'm going to do one. I'm going to give you one to do on your own. It says graphing a line given its slope and y-intercept. There's a lot on these notes, but that's because a lot of these are like supposed to be maybe 2-minute topic, okay? Again, y is equal to mx plus b, okay? So all you need is the m and the b to name any line because the y and the x stay there. All right, well, guess what? They gave it to you. They said the y-intercept was 4, and they said the slope was -6. So all you have to do is plug that in underneath. Okay, there you go. And then now you can write the equation. Y equals -6, x, bring down the x, plus 4. And that's the answer. You literally just erase the m and the b and put in the m and the b that they gave you. All you need to name any line is the slope and y-intercept. Excuse me, sorry. All right. So here, again, they give you the slope and the y-intercept. You can pause it if you want to try to do it yourself. I'm so sorry. Okay, goodness. All right. So they gave you the slope. The slope is 3/2. Okay, so here's the slope. It's 3/2. We're going to erase the m and we're going to put -3/2. And then they gave you the y-intercept is -3. So we're going to erase the b and we're going to put -3. Now a plus -3 can be rewritten as minus. So it could be -3/2 x minus 3. And that's the answer. Next. Graphing a line through a given point with a given slope. All right, this is a big one. And this is really important. Okay, I will test this one. And I probably will make it an exit ticket. Okay, so here's the thing. It says graph with the slope and the point. They haven't given you the y-intercept, you guys. They only gave you the slope and a point. So whenever you're asked for, oh wait, this is graphing. Never mind, I'll get to the equation later. Okay, this is actually pretty easy, never mind. Okay, I was thinking it was the other, writing the equation, which we will get to very soon. Okay, so graphing a line. So the first thing you want to do is here, place the point first. Okay, and the reason why you want to do that is remember this is not a point. This is directions to get from one point. Directions from, my God, right, Miss Baca. Directions from point to point. Okay, so you can't use this. This is not -3/4 anywhere on here. This is x, this is y. First graph this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there we go. That's our point. Now we use the slope to get to the next point. So the slope says -3/4. Hopefully right away you're like, okay, it goes negative. Okay, that means you can go down 3 to the right 4, or you can go up 3 to the left 4, because both of these are negative. I'm going to go down because that's where my graph has room. So I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, over to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I have 2 points, I can graph my line, and then we're good. Okay? All right, your turn. Pause it if you want to try. Okay? All right, I'm going to graph this. Again, graph the line. Ms. Baca can read the directions. The slope is 3, and it passes through the point 1, -5. So all you have to do is graph 1, -5. There it is. There's the point 1, -5, and the slope is 3, but there's not a rise and a run. Yes, there is right there. So hopefully you know it's positive. It's 3, so it's going to be kind of steeper. Now you could graph this either by going up 3 to the right 1, or you could go down 3 to the left 1, because both of these are positive 3. I'm going to go up because that's where my graph has room. 1, 2, 3 over 1, right there. If I needed to, I could go up another 3 over 1, okay? I'm not going to, I'm just going to connect these dots in a line. Really ugly line, but I tried. I tried, people. All right, and that's how you graph that line. Okay, now we are rewriting a linear equation in the form, okay, this is standard. I know I went over this. This is standard form. This is a really important skill, and it's just algebra. This is straight up algebra. There's no geometry even involved in here. We can't even fake it. So here we go. All you're going to do is basically, okay, actually, let me go back. The thing I've noticed that kids have trouble with standard form is they don't understand what A, B, and C are. A, B, and C are just the numbers that come in those positions. In other words, if I give you 2x plus 3y equals 6, A is equal to 2, B is equal to 3, and C is equal to 6. Do you see why? Because look, AX plus BY equals C. They're just they're naming the number that comes before. And if you get something like this, X plus Y equals -2, A is equal to 1, because when we don't have a number, it's always 1. B is equal to 1, C is equal to -2. Okay, A, B, and C. So really all they're asking you to do is to take this weird, funky form they gave you and rewrite it so it says AX plus BY equals C. Okay, but there's a couple little important tips here. Okay, first of all, A and B can't be fractions. We always put them in whole numbers, all right, or integers, okay? And usually, I've seen Alex do it both ways, but usually A is always positive. We typically make A positive. All right. That means that if you have a fraction, you end up having to multiply by the least common denominator to get rid of it, okay? Or if A is a negative, you usually have to multiply everything by -1, okay? I'm going to put that just on the side just in case you get it. Multiply by LCD. I don't know if they're going to give it to you. We shall see. Multiply everything. I should say everything. That says everything, okay, guys? By -1. All right? All right, so let's try this. Okay, we can't do anything here. And Y is on the right side, okay? But the 2 isn't, but that's okay. We're not there yet. Y plus 2 equals, I'm working down. We're going to distribute that -3. -3 times +1 is -3. And then we don't want to go to y equals mx plus b. If we did that, we would move the 2. Instead, we want to get this x over here. We want to move the x to this side. So we're going to add 3x to both sides. Okay, so I'm going to show that in a different color since I wrote that arrow. You don't want to write the arrow. Plus 3x. Okay, this will cancel that. But we still have, these cannot be added because they're not like terms. And we still have this 2. We don't want the 2 there. We want to put the numbers without an x and a y. They need to go to the other side. See? The numbers go on the other side. All right, so we get 3x plus y. Oh yeah, I forgot. We should probably show that just for people that need to be shown. This cancels, equals -5. And now it is in standard form. Basically, you're just rearranging it using algebra. Okay, so that you have an x and x is first, y is second, and then you have a number on the other side. Okay, rewrite in standard form, use integers. So now it's telling you you cannot have fractions. That's basically what it's saying. So here we go. Y plus 1 equals 2. And again, pause if you want to try this on your own. Y plus 1 equals distribute. Get rid of the parentheses. Now we need to move over. Okay, so you're going to get -2x. I like to think of it as jumping over the equal sign and changing signs. Plus y, and then let's move the 1 to this side. You're going to subtract 1 from both sides, equals -9. Now, that actually might be acceptable to Alex. It does say you could use integers. -2 is an integer. Typically, we don't actually like that though. Typically, we tend to do this. Multiply everything by -1, which just basically changes the sign of every single thing, because negative times a negative is a positive. Negative times a positive, negative. Negative times negative, positive. Okay, this is how I personally would write it, but it does say you can use integers. So, -2 is an integer. All right. Now I have a couple of these. I put them on the same page because they're kind of easy. So it says finding the slope and y-intercept of a line, giving its equation. Okay, they're giving it to you right there in y equals mx plus b form. Look, y is equal to 8x minus 9. Well, what's the slope and what's the y-intercept? It's right there. Oh, you ready? mx plus b. The slope is 8. The b is -9. That's all they want you to do is pull it out of the formula. So you guys can try this one. Again, pause it if you want. Okay, so if I write y equals mx plus b, you will see the b is 3 and the m is -1. Okay, next. Now they're giving it to you in standard form. This is called standard form, right? And now they want you to get the slope and y-intercept. Well, guess what? You need to change it to y equals mx plus b form. So we have to solve for y. We have to get y by itself. So what do? We want to jump this guy over to the other side, add 6x to both sides. Say it. This is subtraction, add. So y is equal to 6x plus 7. So what's the slope? 6. It's right there. What's the b? 7. That's the beauty of this equation. You can just pull out the slope and y-intercept if you solve for y. Here you have 8x plus 4y. Again, if you want to try it on your own, pause. Okay, we need to solve for y. So we're going to move the 8x over and change the sign. -8x, we're subtracting it from both sides. It will cancel out. You're free to show the work if you want to. Now we need to get rid of the 4, so we have to divide everything by 4. So you get y is equal to -2x plus 3. So you are now in slope-intercept form. Also, don't forget that if I work too fast, you can always slow it down. You can use YouTube and slow the speed down to like 3/4 or something, and then I'll talk really slow. No, I won't talk that slow. It'll be a little bit better for some people. Some of you guys might speed me up. I don't know. Okay, so there you go. Next, graphing a line by first finding its slope and y-intercept. Okay, so you're given this line and it says graph. Okay, the equation of line is given before. Find the slope and y-intercept and then use them to graph the line. Basically, they're just going to say graph this line. Okay, now because they're telling you exactly how to find the line, you know you need to get it into slope-intercept form. That means y equals mx plus b. It means you need to solve for y. So let's do that. We're going to move the 2x over. It's positive, so we're going to subtract it, jump it over, change the sign. Divide everything by 4 to get y by itself. Then you get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4. All right, now it wants you to graph it. Well, this is your y-intercept. That is the first point that you're going to graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's build some intuition. What about the slope? It's negative 1/2. We know it's going to go this way. It's going to be negative. This is a 45 degree right here, and this is a slope of negative 1. I'm just going to tell you that. So intuitively, what would negative 1/2 be? Is it going to be more shallow or is it going to be more steep? Okay, let's find out. So it says you can go down 1, over to the right 2. So down 1, right 2. There's my next point, down 1, right 2. Okay, and then I can connect them. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is actually a shallower slope than a 45 degree because it's 1/2. It's less than 1. All right, and that was the task. So you change it first to y equals mx plus b. Oh, yes, wait, hang on. You change it first to y equals mx plus b, and then you graph it. So here you're given another one, 12x. Again, this one, you can, that's weird. Why is it showing red when it's really blue? Okay. Anyway, you can graph it. And by solving for y. So find the slope and y-intercept, then use them to graph the line, okay? So move the 12x over. So you get 3y equals negative 12x plus 9. Solve for y. Divide everything by 3 to get rid of that 3. And you're going to get negative 4x plus 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So y equals, I don't want to do that. Y equals negative 4x plus 3. This is your starting point. This is an actual point on the graph. These are just directions to get from point to point. So first, graph this. Always graph the b first. So we're going to graph that at 3. 1, 2, 3. Because it's the y-intercept. Okay, and then we're going to go down 4 to the right 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And it's a negative slope and it's steep. Wow, I'm sorry, that's really bad. I tried. It's very hard on this tablet. All right, next. Okay, try this now. Okay, it says writing equation given its slope and y-intercept. All right, so here we are, kind of at second to the last hardest thing that you're going to do. So it asks you to write slope-intercept form. Given the y-intercept is 3, wait. Oh, no, that's too easy. Did I have this accidentally put this again? Yes, I did. Okay, I'm not going to go through this again because we already did. Okay, here, this is the one. Take a look. This one is, it's going to give you a slope and a point. This is the part that's the second hardest. And you have to come up with the equation y equals mx plus b, okay, with the information that they've given you. They've given you a point and they've given you a slope. And here's your equation. Always start with the formula. You guys write it down. Then talk to yourself. You're like, okay, look, I got the formula. It's slope-intercept. All I need is the m and the b. Well, look, they gave you the m already. Plug it in. Y is equal to, and they gave you the slope. It's right here. -5/4 x, but they didn't give you b. No, you can't plug that in. That is not b. Okay, so the question is, you need b. And how are you going to get b? Like, how do you do it? Well, you're going to use the point. You guys, they gave you a point that satisfies, that is a solution. If the point is a solution, when you plug it in, it's true. Okay, so this is going to be your x and your y. And you're going to plug it in. Okay, so here we go. Y is -9. The slope is -5/4. The x is 4. Whatever, sorry. I was going to try to switch colors, but oh well. So look what we've got here. What I did, look what I did. I plugged in the x and the y because here I have 3 variables. You can't solve an equation with 3 variables. You can only solve an equation with 1 variable. Excuse me. I need something to drink. All right, so we're plugged it in, and then we get -9 equals this. So now all we have to do is solve for b. Okay, so use the point xy, plug it in, solve for b. So multiply. -9 equals, multiply here, -20/4 plus b. 20/4 is -5 plus b, right? Now you add 5 because you want to get rid of it, and you get b is equal to -4. See, do you see what I have? I have b. I can now go back and plug it in. So what's the equation of my line? -5/4 x minus 4. See, I found the b. Try again. Again, if you're ready, plug it in. So this one, it says use the point 3, -8, and it has a slope of -9. Okay, get used to calling slope m. Okay. All right, so let's do this. First, where do I begin? Begin with the formula. Then talk to yourself and be like, okay. I've got slope. So y is equal to -9x plus b. And then you're like, yay, all I need is the b. Plug in the point. Okay, let's plug in the point. -8 is x, and this is y. Don't forget. This is the biggest mistake I see kids make is they plug in the 3 for the y and the -8 for the x. -9 times 3 plus b. -8 equals. Keep going, just solve. Now you can just solve. Add 27 to both sides, and you get b is equal to 19, right? No, yeah, 19. What's the equation of the line? Y equals -9x plus 19. Okay, next. Same problem, but now it says, I'm trying to get it bigger. Now it says to put it in standard form. Now, using my logic from before, you might be tempted to do this. But don't, because they didn't give you anything. They gave you a slope, and they gave you a point. And we don't have anything, and I'm not going to give you any complex formulas that relate this to this. So what I want you to do is first get the equation in y equals mx plus b form, and then use algebra to convert it to standard form. Okay, this is going to be the simplest way. I will show some of you guys that are more advanced another formula that you could possibly use called the point slope formula. But for everybody who's just trying to work their way through and understand this, let's start with point slope. You have the slope of -6 and you have this point x and y. You need the b. So first we plug in the slope, then we plug in the point. Can you plug them in all at once? Yeah, I just don't want to show that just because it seems like a lot of kids get confused when I do that. And then you add 6 to both sides and you get b equals 10. So now we have an equation, and that equation is, let me move this up just a little bit. That equation is, look, we have our b and we have our m. So it's y is equal to -6x plus 10. Now, using what we already talked about today, we're going to move that 6x over, and it's going to be 6x plus y equals 10. Now it's in standard form. Slope-intercept, standard. Slope-intercept, standard. Okay? I am going to do the next, I'll do point slope formula as like a last lesson for those of you that are a little more advanced that want a quicker way to get to it if you understand it and you memorize the formula. Okay? All right, this is yours to do. Okay? If you guys, there we go. Okay? If you want to pause it, you can. It passes through the point 97. So this is your x, this is your y, and then you have a slope of 4/3. Okay, what does it say to do? Write an equation in standard form. All right, so here we go. And it says use integers for a, b, and c. Okay, so y is equal to mx plus b. Y is equal to 4/3 x plus b. We need to solve for b, plug in the point. -7 equals 4/3. Now this is getting a little harder, you guys. No, it's not that hard, never mind. Times 9 plus b. -7 is equal to, now simplify this. 4 times 9 is 36. 36 divided by 3 times 1, 3. 36 divided by 3 is 12. Plus b. Those of you that can cross cancel, not cross multiply, cross cancel. 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9, 3. And then you can see that it's 4 times 3 is 12. All right, subtract 12 from both sides, just solve for b, and you get -19. So, formula. Y equals 4/3 x minus 19. Now switch it to standard form. So this is the case where we switch it, we move the 4/3 over because we want to get the x and the y on the same side. In standard form, the x and the y are on the same side. All right, so 4/3 x plus y equals -19. Well, that's not okay because you can't have fractions. So you're going to use that cool little trick of multiplying everything by the least common denominator. But you don't just multiply the fraction. If you multiply the fraction, you have to multiply everything. So 3 times -4 is -12 divided by 3 is -4. Cancel. 3 times y, and 3 times 19 is 2757, -57. So this is your answer. I would prefer to multiply everything by -1 and change it to 4x minus 3y equals +57. This is the way you really should write it. I'm not sure if Alex will take a -4, but since it says integers, I think it will. Okay. All right, I think that might be it. There might be one really easy. Okay, this one is in, let's see. Okay. This is something I am going to test you on. Okay, I got to make it bigger. I don't know why it's so tiny. Let's see. Zoom in. There we go. You need to be able to write an equation given a line. Okay, and these are kind of easy, and I'll tell you why. It's because they give you the y-intercept. It's harder if they just give you 2 points, but they're actually giving you the y-intercept. In this case, the y-intercept is 0. Now all you need, look, write down the point slope formula, y equals mx plus b, and you find b is 0. Now you need is the slope. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We went up 6, and then we went over 1, 2, 3. Positive 3. We went up in the positive direction. Little man is climbing. So you get 6 over 3, which is 2. So slope is 2. And then just write your line. Plus 0. Do you need the plus 0? No, that's silly. Don't do that. Just y is equal to 2x. All right, next. Try this one. Again, it's through 0. Here we go. Let me see. Okay, again, y-intercept, -4. Slope, count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, we went up 9. And we went to the right 1, 2, 3. Slope is 3. Name of the line is, no, I almost put the B for the M. That was silly. Don't do that. 3x minus 4. Okay, hopefully you're starting to get this code down. All right, I do want to do one last little thing. This is for kids who want like a quicker way to the end. If I give you a point and a slope, there's a formula called the point slope formula. Okay, so for example, let's say I gave you this is your slope and this is your point. Okay, the point slope formula looks like this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. This is the point. The y1, x1 is the point, and the slope is what you plug in. So this is your x, and this is your y. You only need 1 point. So you go y minus -3 equals -1/2 times x minus 2. All right, so to go finish this, you multiply these. Y plus 3 equals, distribute this, -1/2 x plus 1. Then you subtract 3 from both sides, and you get y is equal to -1/2 x minus 2. And you have your line. So you can go immediately in one algebraic performance, so to speak, from a slope and a point to the equation. You don't have to go through the whole B, but a lot of people don't really like this way because they don't really understand it and they can't remember it. This is about memorizing a formula, okay? I'll do another one just in case. Let's do -2, 6, and the slope is equal to -4, okay? So you go y minus 6 equals -4 times x plus 2. Do you see y? Minus -2 becomes a plus. Y minus 6 equals, distribute, -4x minus 8. Add 6 to both sides, minus 2. Okay, this is just extra. Again, you need this formula. All right, that's the end of these notes.